hoopers, it's LoopDLu, and I am here with a hoop and poi tutorial on a move I sort of just came up with. I'm calling it IsoWaves. It looks like this. If I don't hit things. So in poi, this type of weave here is called a wave. That's why I call it IsoWaves. So that would be the first component that you need to get down. Your palms are facing forward in this grip. I start with both hoops behind me. If you want to learn one hoop at a time, you would just start with your palm facing forward. And it's this kind of awkward downwards weave or figure eight where your elbow has to, you know, kind of come more forward. It's not, if your palm was facing to the back, this is kind of the more natural feeling way to do this move. But in order to get the isolations in, your palms have to be this way. So practice that with your right hand, practice it with your left. To get into it, I just do an upward swing behind me and then let that momentum carry through. I keep a super loose grip because it's an uncomfortable position. So I typically am like this around the hoops. I'm really only using my thumb and my forefinger. So if you get that, if you get that going, then you can start to put that together with the isolation, which when you get to about here, I tighten my grip, I do an isolation, come back to like 4 o'clock facing me, so it'd be like 7 o'clock facing you, and come back behind me. So it's behind, in front, do this isolation. When you get to this point, bring it back behind you. And then learn that with your left hand. And then ultimately you put them together in split time. What I tend to do is get this one going first, my right hand's is dominant, and when I get to about here, I just start this upward swing behind me with my left hand. So then it kind of is getting it ready to come in front. Sorry, my ceiling fan. It's a fun move. It's kind of therapeutic, or not therapeutic, but meditative once you kind of get into the groove of it. Pitfalls to avoid would be not going all the way in your isolation. You really want to grip that hoop and do a full isolation before you pull it behind you. It kind of gets tempting, especially when you're doing it and you start to get a little tired. If you get like up to here and then you kind of start swinging it back instead of really getting your hand down there. You can do it with minis as well. It's, the weave is a little bit harder for me for some reason. I think because it doesn't have the weight and the same momentum. And you can do this with poi as well. I'm really just learning poi, so I can't do this with 2 poi at a time, but it would look like that with poi. I can do it with 1 hoop and 1 poi, sort of. Anyways, that's the general. I don't really have the isolation down yet either with this, but if you're into poi, I'm sure you know how to do that. And then you can, of course, split time it with 2 poi. I'm just not technically able to do that yet, but it's a fun move, and you can play with it. You can do this move also. I do it a lot. I sort of discovered it because I was playing around with 1 hoop and just kind of bringing it into these isolations, switching hands, and that's kind of how I came up with, well, let me try it with 2 hoops and see what happens. So I think there's probably more you can do with it, but give it a shot. If you have any questions, need any troubleshooting, let me know. You can leave comments down here on YouTube or find me on Hoop City in the daily practice group. Thanks. Have fun with it.